testing and foraging. Come on, let us floor you at Lowe's with new on-trend styles, lighting, and decor. Book now and have yours installed by the holidays.
Okay, Lehman, you said it. And as I spike it, I'll tell them how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so they only pay for what they need. Got it? Did you get that? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Bill Belichick?
Really? You're right. I should get a delicious footlong from Subway. That would be better.
Now you look better, too.
Now get a free footlong when you buy two, because it's footlong season.
A woman who was young had COVID-19. I remember her because she had a bracelet that had the names of her children. She asked me, "Doctor, am I going to be okay?" And I could not give her the answer that I wanted to give her. There's no excuse for why we don't have this under control at this point. Joe Biden listens to medical experts. He actually has a plan that does the things that we should have been doing many months ago. And Joe Biden is not going to let his ego get in the way of fighting the disease.
FFPAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
This home is equipped with Wi-Fi from Xfinity. There's this game time interneting room, so fun.
Wow.
And then there's this work from home interneting room. Finally, the open concept interneting room.
This is not an open house.
But your front door was open, so technically it is.
Get the most in-home Wi-Fi coverage with Xfinity X5. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Get Xfinity Internet for $39.99 a month for 12 months. Plus, add Xfinity Mobile and save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Switch today.
In 2016, I voted for Donald Trump, but where do you start with all the lies? When he said it'll magically go away. He wasn't lying, and he knew it. He will never get the economy going again. I'm voting for Joe Biden this time. He understands getting the economy going means getting the pandemic under control. He understands our everyday life, whereas Trump doesn't get it.
AD is responsible for the content of this ad.
The perfect place to enrich your life after 55 is at Greystone Court or Greystone Court Villas. Greystone offers 1 and 2 bedroom apartments that include all utilities and one affordable monthly payment. You'll enjoy the casual comfort and many amenities of the most respected name in senior living. Greystone also offers compassionate personal care for those needing assistance at Greystone Manor in Belmead. And now under construction, Greystone Grand Palazzo, the ultimate retirement community.
President Trump is recovering from the coronavirus, and so is America. Together, we rose to meet the challenge, protecting our seniors, getting them life-saving drugs in record time, sparing no expense. President Trump tackled the virus head-on, as leaders should.
I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
We'll get through this together. We'll live carefully, but not afraid.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Hi there.
Hey, how'd it go?
Well, Brian completely flipped his attitude on the house.
Great!
So did Kristen.
Why?
Things were said, mistakes were made. Who remembers exactly what happened? She's panicking about a 30-year mortgage.
She was so excited about that house.
I said mistakes were made, quit harping on it. She needs a little assurance right now.
Yeah, well then why aren't you still over there talking to her about it?
I rarely say this, but I'm not the right person to do this. You are.
I am?
Let's not get too excited, okay? Our bench isn't that deep.
Go away, Mandy. I can shut this sweatshop down with one call.
It's me, Eve, your brother. J-Law. To be. It's Kyle.
No, sorry. I thought it was Mandy. The emotional bruises haven't healed yet.
Save it. You've used my sweet and trusty nature, and I am very disappointed in you, young lady.
You're right. I'm really sorry. I'll never do it again. I'm a horrible person.
No,
It's okay. The important thing is you learned your lesson.
I really did. You're a great big brother, Kyle.
Okay. All right, you have fun, sport. Wait a second. You did it again. Stupid, sweet, trusting nature.
Kyle, I just really want to be alone right now.
Why is it so important for you to be down here? What are you doing? And when did Mandy get a guitar?
It's mine, okay? I've been writing songs and I come down here to play them so nobody can hear them.
Why don't you want anyone else to hear? Oh, do they really suck?
It's just personal. Ever since I got rejected from West Point, I don't know, I've just been feeling really lost.
I've been there. Not West Point, lost. Singing about it helps you?
Yeah. Unfortunately, not a lot of words rhyme with point. Just don't tell anybody, okay?
Oh, I won't. But look, Mandy's got to get down here to do her work.
Yeah, I know.
You know, my apartment's empty all day when I'm at work. I could make you a key and you could play there.
Really? You would do that for me even after I tricked you?
Of course. Wait, unless this is another trick.
It's not. Thanks, Kyle. You really are a good big brother.
This is nothing. Wait till you see me build a fort.
Oh, good. I thought it was Dad stopping by to bug me about the house. No, he gave that job to me. Thanks for stopping by. Hey. I didn't come by to bug you. I just want to give you something that might ease your mind about buying a house. Oh, here. Is there a big-ass check in here? No, there's a picture of Boyd and Ryan. Just like there was a picture of me when my grandmother gave it to your dad. She said it would always remind him not to worry about the house, that home is where the heart is. Aww, Nana was always kind of cheesy. I don't know. I think she found a way to deliver a profound message.
With the first overall pick in the 2020 WWE Draft, Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown selects, well, we'll find out shortly. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm your host, Encyclopedia of Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. As always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. That thumbs up button. Share on social media. Hashtag WWE Draft. Chat questions and comments. Always greatly appreciated as well. Tonight, the 2020 WWE Draft will begin on WWE Friday Night SmackDown before concluding this upcoming Monday on Monday Night Raw, as we're about 10 minutes away from the top of the hour. Everyone up on the main roster has in fact been placed into the draft pool. So males and females, whether they are single competitors, a tag team, or even champions, they will be involved, included in this 2020 WWE Draft, beginning once again tonight. Now only minutes away. Thank you once again for tuning in and watching. As mentioned, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. That thumbs up button, share hashtag WWE Draft, chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated. So everyone up on Raw or SmackDown at this moment, involved, included in the draft pool for the 2020 WWE Draft, male and females, singles, tag team competitors, along with current or even former champions for that matter. There were a few on the list that WWE released, a few superstars that were not mentioned due to injury, so don't look for them to be included tonight. But after the draft, if of course you go undrafted, those superstars will then of course become free agents and then able to sign on either Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown or wherever WWE chooses. Wherever WWE wants, when they see fit, when the time is right. Now, with Friday Night SmackDown only being 2 hours compared to Monday Night Raw's 3 hours, SmackDown will only receive 20 picks tonight and on Monday, so 20 superstars to SmackDown, and then with Raw having that extra third hour, Monday Night Raw will then get the leftovers and be able to select up to more than 30 superstars up on the main roster. And then, as mentioned, anyone that goes undrafted, of course, will be placed on either Raw or SmackDown when and where WWE sees fit. As they say, okay, they're free to sign wherever, but it's going to be the best storyline, best place for whoever it is that goes undrafted. And unfortunately, whoever doesn't get drafted and goes undrafted, they'll probably just be droppers that nobody cares about in the end anyway. So when we get to that point, it is what it is. So be it. We'll move on. Also tonight, though, on WWE Friday Night SmackDown, thank you once again for tuning in and watching. We will have Big E and Sheamus in a Falls Count Anywhere match, along with a recently added tag team match that was added shortly ago this afternoon. It'll be The Miz and John Morrison versus Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy in tag team action. We'll also figure out what the hell's going on with Otis and the Money in the Bank, along with Bayley and Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Kevin Owens versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, as well tonight on SmackDown. But the WWE Draft returns, now only seconds away. So we'll get into the swing of things here momentarily. As mentioned, the draft beginning tonight, concluding on Monday Night Raw. A few days away, I'll also have live reactions play of Night 2, so be sure to tune back in on Monday night for the second part of the 2020 WWE Draft. And once again, everyone up on Raw or SmackDown, no NXT, unfortunately, at this point in time, so we know at least. Everyone has been placed into the draft pool, and they will in fact be eligible to either be drafted to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Now, if you're on Raw and you end up staying on Raw, you technically at that point didn't get drafted, you just stayed put, and vice versa for SmackDown. But if you get drafted from Monday Night Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown's going to be your new home until the next shakeup or draft about another year from now, because this time last year, that's when they had the last draft. The second ever SmackDown on Fox episode last October, and then vice versa as well. If you get drafted from SmackDown to Raw, your new home will in fact be on Monday nights on the USA Network, as Raw's on USA, SmackDown on Fox. They're saying, obviously behind the scenes, as they did it last year, USA and Fox are making these picks. That's not right. We know who's in charge. The WWE's making all the calls. They're making all the decisions on who they want to move around, either put on Raw or SmackDown, or keep them put for the time being. So more than 20 superstars will be drafted to SmackDown, more than 30 to Monday Night Raw. Those will include single competitors, whether they are a tag team, along with champions, male or female, in the current WWE landscape on this 2020 roster. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. And then anyone that goes undrafted, once again, will in fact become a free agent, of course, an undrafted free agent at that. And then they'll, in quotes, in WWE's eyes, be able to sign wherever they want. They're free to sign on either Raw or SmackDown. However, they'll be put wherever WWE sees fit. They'll be put wherever WWE wants them to go. But a few actually good matches and segments to come tonight on SmackDown. As mentioned, this Big E Sheamus storyline wrapping up, as of now at least, with that Falls Count Anywhere match to come. Otis and the Money in the Bank going back to May. They haven't done a goddamn thing with them since. We're going to get Bayley, Sasha Banks for the women's title, probably in the main event or either kicking off the show this evening. However, it'll end in some odd fashion, and then it'll continue on to WWE Hell in a Cell, in which that championship match will more so than not likely be inside Hell in a Cell on Sunday, October the 25th. Kevin Owens and The Fiend in singles competition. That should be a damn good match. This goes back to the Kevin Owens show that Alexa Bliss was actually on. And then The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, came out and attacked Kevin Owens before Owens then had the Kevin Owens show once again this past Monday night on Raw. Bray Wyatt was supposed to be his guest, and then we ended up having a episode of the Firefly Funhouse. There are, of course, rumors floating around on who's going to be drafted to where. Everybody has their mock drafts, but now's the real time to find out who and when they'll be, in fact, moving either to Raw or SmackDown, because if you don't get drafted tonight, you still have a chance come Monday night, but then if you don't get drafted, of course, you're going to be an undrafted free agent, and then they'll put you wherever they want. Miz and Morrison, as mentioned, in tag team action against Riddle and Hardy. That should be a damn good match, too. So, should be an interesting night, to say the least, on Friday Night SmackDown. So, once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool and Luke at 96. Like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description, both at thumbs up button. Share hashtag WWE Draft. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated. Now, then, now, forever, WWE. And we'll get Friday Night SmackDown kickstarted here very shortly. Also, this evening, we got some college football, baseball playoffs, along with the NBA Finals. Come Sunday, we will also have more live reactions, play-by-play with the NFL, the Keystone State Battle with the Eagles and Steelers, 1 p.m. on Sunday. Be sure to tune in to watch those. Also on Monday, as mentioned, with the WWE Draft concluding, we'll have 2 Monday night games once again, due to some COVID-19 postponements and rescheduling, as we did last week. And then also now an NFL game for the second time ever on a Tuesday night, this upcoming Tuesday, with the Bills and Titans. The schedule's been moved around a little bit once again due to some COVID positives, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. You got to do, move ahead, move forward. So we'll have to see exactly what does in fact happen tonight, tomorrow with college football. A big weekend in college football tomorrow, only a few weeks away from all the other conferences returning. And then a big NFL Sunday with lots of games, of course, but then a doubleheader Monday once again for the second week, and then a Tuesday night game in the National Football League. But tonight, then now WWE Forever, as mentioned, the WWE Draft concluding for the first time ever inside the WWE Thunderdome. And yes, we are in fact ready. Michael Cole, we're going to change the landscape of pro wrestling for the WWE. There's all the virtual fans. Haven't done a SmackDown live reaction since SummerSlam weekend, which seems like forever ago, but they try to make this as realistic as possible. Tonight's Friday draft poll has all the champions, it looks like, and then about half of the Raw roster and half of the SmackDown roster. So only select superstars eligible for tonight, and then on Monday it'll be the same thing. Yeah, no shit, Michael Cole. If it's a championship switch, if a champion gets drafted, that championship will go to whether Raw or SmackDown then at that point. And Stephanie McMahon's going to get us kick-started. She's going to be the commish, so to speak. Here comes Roger Goodell, Stephanie McMahon. Let's boo her. And they got the podium at the top of the stage. Every 2 picks that SmackDown gets, as mentioned once again, Raw will get 3 with that third extra hour for Monday Night Raw. SmackDown going to get about 20 picks, Raw about 30. Hashtag WWE Draft once again. The first overall pick, Monday Night Raw. And Drew McIntyre staying on Raw. Okay, drafted to Raw. Hell, he's been on Raw as the WWE champion. They show a few of his accomplishments. He won the Rumble this year, defeated Lesnar at WrestleMania to become WWE champion, and then Reigns is staying on SmackDown as well. So McIntyre drafted to Raw, he stays put. Roman Reigns drafted to SmackDown, he stays put. So the chosen one and the tribal chief still on Raw and SmackDown as the WWE and Universal champions. And Asuka gonna stay on Monday Night Raw as well. So these aren't technically actual draft picks because they're staying put, but in their eyes, hey, we just drafted you to Raw. Asuka, Raw Women's Champion. Ooh, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is going to Friday Night SmackDown. That's big. That's a big move right there. I mean, that sets up Rollins and Reigns for the title early next year, probably. Okay, and the Hurt Business going to stay on Raw as well. So SmackDown making some moves, but Raw staying put with everybody that's currently on the roster. So that means Lashley, as your U.S. champ, a part of the Hurt Business, stays on Raw. So that means Sami Zayn, your Intercontinental Champion, stays on SmackDown, but they haven't announced that just yet. That'll come Monday night probably. So round one, 5 picks per round. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Asuka, and then Seth Rollins was the Ezekiel Elliott pick at number 4 overall, and then the Hurt Business at 5. So Rollins coming to SmackDown, and Rollins backstage, the Monday Night Messiah himself with Caleb Braxton for the greater good. That's big. That is. That gives Reigns, after he moves on from the Usos, along with Rollins for that matter too, moving on from Buddy Murphy, falling Hell in a Cell, of course, in a few weeks because we still have that pay-per-view to come, and then Survivor Series before TLC and the Royal Rumble. Rollins an early favorite to win the Rumble, in my opinion, right now, especially if Lesnar is not going to be coming back anytime soon to set up a Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar Universal title match. Maybe that's why they did this, have Rollins go over to SmackDown and then have Reigns Rollins at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship before Rollins regains that championship title that he lost almost a year ago, here coming up in a few weeks on Halloween over in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel to the Fiend Bray Wyatt, before the Fiend, of course, lost it to Goldberg a few months later back overseas in the desert. But as Rollins gives his promo backstage, we'll now have a Falls Count Anywhere match with Big E and Sheamus. We're in the Thunderdome once again. And there are some rumors as well floating around that the New Day could, in fact, be getting split up, with Big E staying on SmackDown, Kofi, after he makes a return from injury, going to Monday Night Raw, and then Xavier Woods sort of managing both on both Raw and SmackDown to keep the New Day, even though they're potentially going to be getting split up. That's what the rumor is, that they'll still be intact across both Raw and SmackDown moving forward. So the past few years after they brought back the draft and then the Superstar Shakeup, they, as they are tonight, they're just announcing picks. It's not, hey, this superstar from this brand, whether it be Raw or SmackDown, wins this match. Okay, that brand then gets the next pick, and then it was auto-generated, of course. That's how it always was, as Big E nails Corey Graves ringside with his coat. But here comes the Celtic Warrior now, Sheamus, former WWE champion, former Money in the Bank winner as well, as Rollins has that to his credit too. He hasn't been on SmackDown, honestly, since that time period, from splitting up with the Shield till 2016, about when they brought back the draft. He's been on Monday Night Raw ever since. Now, he might have had an appearance or two, or, you know, had a few matches, but now full-time on Friday Night SmackDown, Seth Rollins with SmackDown's second overall pick of the night, fourth overall between Raw and SmackDown on the evening, but a little surprised they actually announced that early on. I get it's a, you know, first-round pick, and everybody else later on, round by round, you know, the best players are picked first. You know, not so good ones are, you know, picked in the middle, and then everybody else is after that, of course. But to close it out, you would have thought Rollins would have been one of the last picks, just to have a shock to close it out here in a few hours on SmackDown, but obviously not the case. Round one, the current WWE and Universal Champions stay put on Raw and SmackDown. Drew McIntyre on Raw, Roman Reigns on SmackDown, and then Asuka went to Raw as well, staying put. Thought fourth overall would be Bayley, because they did the two main men's titles, and they went to Asuka, so you're thinking, okay, at least I was, the two main women's titles, other than the women's tag team titles. But no, they have Seth Rollins and then the Hurt Business as a faction. And why are there big pieces of cereal underneath the ring? Okay, Big E now grabbing a kendo stick, going to bat, but Sheamus with a kick ringside. This is Falls Count Anywhere, so cover right next to the announce table. Kick out at 2.5 by Big E. Match continues. First official match on the night. They went over all the roles and everybody eligible for selection tonight before Stephanie announced the first round, of course. And now this match, is just now tuning in. And now, of course, they have the draft ticker at the bottom of our screen. Drew McIntyre, Raw. Roman Reigns to SmackDown. Asuka to Raw. Seth freaking Rollins, Monday Night Messiah, now on Friday night. So we'll have to see if they change his nickname around. Once again, Mr. Nickname, going to be getting a new nickname probably. And then the Hurt Business at 5. And as mentioned, Bobby Lashley, as your current United States champion, a part of the Hurt Business, staying put on Raw. That means Sami Zayn, your Intercontinental Champion, will more than likely stay on Friday Night SmackDown, as they'll keep the two main titles and then the two mid-card titles on separate brands, along with the women's and then, of course, the tag teams. Now, if a tag team gets split up, they can get split up, and that's what I said about the New Day, as their faction, with Xavier being out with an injury as of late, along with Kofi, Big E getting a singles push. We'll see if that does in fact happen a little bit later on, as Sheamus whacks Big E right across the chest with that kendo stick as he's locked up in the rope, sitting on the ring apron. And another chop from that kendo stick from the Celtic Warrior. And third time's a charm, 4, 5, right to the gut. And Big E's going to have some marks across his chest tomorrow. Another kick out ringside. This Falls Count Anywhere once again. Sheamus in full control, looking underneath the ring right now. There's some duct tape. Now Sheamus crawling underneath the ring. Hornswoggle going to come out. Sheamus crawling underneath the ring now. Big E coming from behind. Big E with the duct tape that Sheamus threw to him, or threw away, but Big E grabs it, taping the feet of Sheamus together right at the ankle. Now going to drag him out. Sheamus not going to be able to walk. Shameless? Shameless is helpless? Sheamus is helpless. I get it, Michael Cole. We all mess up. Big E now with some kendo stick shots. Sheamus, his feet are, well, not anymore. He just went over the barricade and the duct tape came undone. Big E taped Sheamus's feet together, right by the ankles. So they hit the first commercial break now on the evening, and we'll get back to this Falls Count Anywhere match coming up shortly. Once, in fact, we do return as mentioned, and thank you once again for tuning in and watching. Still to come, Otis with his Money in the Bank. We'll see what's up with that, along with a few very good tag team and singles matches tonight, with the WWE Draft, of course, taking center stage. So we'll have to see what the future does, in fact, hold for both Raw and SmackDown moving forward. The big draft pick of the night so far, Seth Rollins going to Friday Night SmackDown. We'll have to think of a new nickname for Mr. Nickname, the no longer Monday Night Messiah. He's on Friday nights now. So they could just go Friday Night Messiah, of course, but it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't ring. We could have him go just back to the Architect, or even the King or Beast Slayer. He'll be the Chief Slayer before too long, going up against the Tribal Chief and Roman Reigns, the big dog himself. Because then that goes back to the Shield days with those two. And then, of course, you have John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, and AEW as our World Heavyweight Champion right now. So, we'll have to think about that. But Rollins on SmackDown now, which very intrigues me a lot. It's a very, very interesting pick. A good move to switch him. Now, when Becky Lynch does, in fact, return, whenever that may be, early next year, maybe, we'll have to see if they put her on SmackDown then, too, or not. But it opens the door for Rollins to take on Reigns for the title. It opens the door for Rollins to potentially go after the Intercontinental title once again with Sami Zayn. I would think Murphy's going to stay on Raw now. Just because, like, they'll split them up. Obviously, they're going to get a match at Hell in a Cell against one another, and Murphy will end up winning more likely than not right now. Haven't even thought about that yet. And then they probably won't do anything with Buddy Murphy then on Raw after that. And then Rollins, they'll make it seem like they forgot that he lost. Make everybody forget that he lost at Hell in a Cell, but he's on SmackDown now, and, you know, it's a fresh start for him, and chasing whatever he's going to go chase. So let's see what happens.
Create them right here in the United States of America. Let's use this opportunity to take bold investments in American industry and innovation so the future is made in America. I'll be laser focused on working families. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Falls Count Anywhere, Big E and Sheamus once again on SmackDown, the first night of the WWE Draft. Round one, if you're just now tuning in, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Asuka, Seth Rollins in the Hurt Business. They're very high on the Hurt Business right now, especially putting them in the first round. Last pick in the first round, but still first round pick with Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Here inside the WWE Thunderdome. A quick breather now for the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, who, as you mentioned, Corey, is
Sheamus with a kendo stick once again. They're using that kendo stick a lot tonight. A lot as of late.
Biggie was able to tap into that killer instinct that some say he's lacked. We've seen plenty of it tonight.
Sheamus now some flour and then eggs, smashing them over Big E's head. Oh, Sheamus just dumped a thing of flour on Big E and then broke a few eggs over his head, but then picked up the crate of eggs and just threw it at him. all hell's broken loose now as they're fighting backstage in the hallway. Orlando Magic logos all over the place as they're in the Amway Center in Orlando, the new WWE Thunderdome, of course. NBA bubble still going on. NBA Finals Game 5 tonight. Lakers 1-1 away from defeating the Heat. No more unicorns or pancakes, says Sheamus. What the hell is that? Is that a TV monitor? Is that a computer? Now, Big E with a broom right to the back of the head of Sheamus. And then the broom breaks. There's a trash can there as well. Big E must have been watching the MLB playoffs with the Dodgers, along with the Braves sweeping the Padres and Marlins respectively to set up the NLCS with LA and Atlanta. Big E now with the trash can.
Big E flip that switch and turn into that physical presence many believe he can be, or is he just this guy that likes to have fun all the time? I think we're getting our answer tonight. No doubt about it. This is what it's going to take for Big E to make it to the top of WWE.
Ooh, Sheamus took a big hard hit to his back of his head out the one door. As he's rolling down the steps now into the, well, it looks like the back of the arena where production trucks, of course, would be parking. Okay, Michael Cole says a parking garage. There are a few cars. Now Big E with lotion, or I don't know what the hell it was. It might have even been water. Washing his hands, it looked like. Now there's a few cars parked there as well. We saw Big E go through the windshield of one a few weeks back with Sheamus has a crowbar right to the back and then the side of the arm. Now Big E on the hood of one of the cars. And they're going to do the same that they did on SmackDown a couple weeks ago with Sheamus, as mentioned, putting Big E through the front windshield. And once again, there we go. Sheamus putting Big E right through the windshield of the car. Cover, 1 on the hood of the car, 2, kick out at 2.5. As the referee has put gloves on, so somebody must be bleeding. That has to hurt. It has to hurt so bad. Now Sheamus going to open up the driver's side door of the same car that he just put Big E through up front on the windshield. Going to put him in about halfway, and now he's slamming the door on him. Okay, Sheamus bleeding from his right elbow. And Big E's going to have bruising all over the place after this Falls Count Anywhere match. Kendo sticks being slammed on the windshield of a car once again for the second time in a few weeks. Front door slamming him from behind. Now Big E being thrown into the trunk of the car. Here comes Sheamus stepping on his arm and about ready to shut it and lock him in, but Big E with a right foot, his right leg, holding the door up for a split second to try to retaliate and reverse Sheamus's momentum right now to gain some for himself. And then a bro kick, Big E moves out of the way. Sheamus kicks the hatch of the car off. And then Big E picks Sheamus up, power slams him. Doesn't really break the windshield of the car, but does a little damage. Sheamus's trunk starting to fall down. cover. No. Big E severely bleeding out too. Actually been pretty good. Actually been good. Big E now picking up Sheamus. He's standing on the hood of the other car. Through a table that's set up. Big E with the big ending cover. 1, 2, 3. Big E with the win over Sheamus here tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. Falls Count Anywhere during the WWE Draft. Actually a good match. Honestly, that was good. Like normally, you know, these will drag out for a half hour or even longer, and you'll have kick out after kick out after kick out, but they also didn't have a whole lot of those. They just kept fighting, and of course, a few different objects used, but Big E now with the win over Sheamus. They advertise Bayley, Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title as well now tonight on SmackDown. We do that, of course, coming in. Also, Kevin Owens and The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I think Owens is going to be going to SmackDown now, too, honestly. I mean, I thought that about last week or so. Here comes the Usos, Jey Uso up against Reigns for the title of Hell in a Cell once again. Don't right now at least know what type of match we're going to get, but it'll probably be Hell in a Cell. But nonetheless, Owens and Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title, I would want that, like that at least, any day of the week. But with Rollins going to SmackDown, if they keep Rollins and Owens on the same brand as they've been on the past however long it's been, dating back to WrestleMania and then even before. So 2 weeks ago, before Clash of Champions, the following Sunday, a few days later, show up and win, says Reigns, attacking Jey Uso, and then, hey, call me the Tribal Chief. Jimmy did, not Jay. And then they're going to continue this feud into Hell in a Cell. Roman Reigns up next on SmackDown, as he'll look to wreck everyone and leave while showing up and winning. Now a promo for WWE Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell, October the 25th. We do know McIntyre and Randy Orton. Orton will probably stay on Raw now too, honestly. But he could get drafted to SmackDown, say either tonight or on Monday. And then after Hell in a Cell, we could still have the title switch brands. If, say, Jey Uso gets drafted to Raw then as Universal Champion if he beats Reigns, of course, and then you have Orton win the WWE title and he gets drafted to SmackDown. So there's a lot of unknown, obviously, right now, and then moving forward tonight and then on Monday, but then even with Hell in a Cell with the matches that are still yet to come. So it'll probably stay put. McIntyre, Orton, Reigns, Uso. We already know the champions are staying put for the time being, but you know, who knows, later on we could have a few trades, or honestly, who the hell knows. Vince could change his mind tomorrow and decide on something different come Monday night on Raw, but yeah, nonetheless, as mentioned, as I just advertised, Owens and The Fiend later on, along with Bayley and Sasha Banks. We just saw Big E and Sheamus, Otis and his Money in the Bank, along with Miz and Morrison, and Riddle and Jeff Hardy. And then the draft will, of course, continue as well. I'm sure they'll add a segment or two, maybe. But SmackDown's only the 2 hours compared to Raw's 3, so... And that's why they're only getting about 20 picks compared to Raw's 30 for every 2 picks SmackDown's get. Raw gets 3, of course. to fill the void. But we'll see if there's any other big moves tonight other than Rollins. I mean, I have a feeling for some reason that we might get another one or two that they'll make a big deal out of it. It's not going to be that bad, honestly, or that good, for that matter. So we'll see. It's just, I always hate whenever they over promote and then down the road, whenever that time comes for whatever it is, say the draft or Hell in a Cell, and then they don't deliver. It's like they have the talent, if only they could execute, you know, from start to finish, top to bottom, you know, would everything be good, you know, moving forward. I get everything's not perfect, but with just as of late, I mean, it's been better, but there's just some things that's so bad, so stupid. And honestly, as CM Punk said in his pipe bomb promo a few years back, you know, yeah, the company might be a little bit better off once Vince is long gone, but I mean, it's not like they're not doing good now. If they were really, really bad, they'd be out of business. So just think of that for a second. So Jey Uso in the ring. Reigns gonna come out here. They just advertised that. Now Big E with Caleb Braxton backstage with the interview. See what happens with Big E. Who the hell is that? Oh, that's Kofi. Kofi as a security guard. Kofi Kingston back on SmackDown. And then Xavier Woods as well, wearing his mask, as they both dressed up as security guards. However, they're both in ring gear, so we could have a New Day match later on tonight, or even on Raw Monday night. But as mentioned, the rumors were that, you know, potentially they could be getting split up. But at the same time, I'm not going to believe it until I actually see it happen. So New Day now backstage. Kofi and Xavier back. Big E just defeated Sheamus. Falls count anywhere. And this will boost the tag team division for sure. If, say, all the New Day went to Raw, you have the Street Profits and the New Day then for the Raw tag team titles. You have New Day rocks, New Day sucks, because New Day's been, Big E at least, of the New Day's been waiting for this moment for a while now. Xavier's been on the shelf for quite a while. Okay, they advertised at Hell in a Cell Universal Championship Hell in a Cell match. So 2 Hell in a Cell Championship matches with McIntyre and Orton for the WWE title. Now Reigns and Jey Uso for the Universal title. The big dog. The tribal chief.
What's it gonna be, Oos? What's the stipulation to a Hell in a Cell match, Oos?
What's the stipulation? This is so bad. They just give me a break. They have him out there for a promo, and they already advertised Reigns to come out.
You're not gonna come out.
Yeah, we know he's still going to come out or attack from behind. But then at the bottom, even before this started, they advertised at Hell in a Cell, in a Hell in a Cell. It'll be Reigns and Uso for the title. Stop, 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 says Paul Heyman. Please shut the hell up. That's just as bad as it can be. Like, they just automatically give it away. Like, that's the production that doesn't need to happen. Like, it's the small little things. Like, give me a break.
Now, as
Like, that's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Both tenured and being drafted over from Raw. A champ applauds your ambition.
So Paul Heyman up on the screen cutting a promo for Roman Reigns on Jey Uso for their Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell for the Universal title. I mean, obviously that could change from now until then. That's a little over 2 weeks away. But still, like, come on. Like, that's just bad. The Tribal Chief is your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. He's also the big dog. Wreck everyone and leave. Show up and win. So now they're going to show a video package on Roman Reigns. Why? And all it is what he did to Jey Uso at Clash of Champions. Like, come on. Like, and I get the blood storyline, but they're just dragging this out now. Well, Reigns actually sitting by Paul Heyman backstage. But they're still just dragging this out right now because they don't want to have him beat anybody else that they could use for whatever may be a little bit later on. But now Rollins on SmackDown will get that, you would think, at least.
I used to say that in this business, believe nothing that you hear.
Believe nothing that you hear.
Only half of what you see.
Yeah, that's true.
But what you just saw, you can believe that.
What you just saw, you can believe that, says the big dog.
I tried to help you. I tried to make your life better.
Reigns telling Jey Uso he tried to help him make his life a little bit better. He's still not at the top of the table, though. Reigns is still the head.
So now,
And always will be with everybody that they have right now. Other than The Rock, of course. The Rock's on a level by himself. Okay, and it'll be an I Quit match. Doesn't have to be like this, but yet it is. Reigns, I just want to help you. Is Reigns now a therapist or what?
but after you say I quit,
After you say I quit, you're going to call me the Tribal Chief.
there will be consequences.
There will be consequences, says Reigns. So now at Hell in a Cell, it'll be an I Quit Hell in a Cell match for the Universal title between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. I Quit, but it'll be inside Hell in a Cell. Unless they're just gonna think that they didn't show that graphic. Okay, Stephanie McMahon now backstage with Postman Pierce. So round 2 of the WWE draft coming up next following the commercial. Gonna be a big one, says Corey Graves. That's coming up next. We'll see. I mean, of course, they want to act like that to keep people coming back, of course. But it seems like Adam Pearce going to actually deliver round 2 to us here tonight in the WWE draft. And only time's going to tell here, minutes away from finding out. I mean, you would think Sami Zayn, they'd get the other mid-card title out of the way. And then you would think, too, with it being round 2, you know, a few of the top single competitors or even tag teams for that matter that aren't a champion right now. So, and I mean that includes, you know, Kevin Owens with Aleister Black and The Fiend right now in the story. Trying to think who else. I mean, like I said, the whole roster's eligible. So, I mean, they could swerve us, you know, from start to finish. And I'm sure there's going to be a shock. I mean, Rollins was that, you know, early. But I'm just trying to think of superstars, too, that they could say, you know, has still been on the roster, but hasn't been with the company or hasn't been injured, even though they didn't include them on the list of eligible people to be drafted tonight, so, or even on Monday. So we'll see. I mean, it's been like this now year in and year out the past few years, because they didn't have a draft there for quite a while and they just did whatever they wanted. But they had superstars on both Raw and SmackDown at the same time, so the battle for brand supremacy kicks off tonight. We'll have Hell in a Cell and then Survivor Series, of course, in November. So Stephanie McMahon was backstage with Adam Pearce, Postman Pearce. It seems like Steph's going to come out again to announce round 2, but I'm not going to be shocked if they get him involved on TV once again this week. I mean, he was just backstage on TV, but he's sort of now in that authority role where whether they're going to bring that back or not, you know, for a period of time, whether it be a few months or, I mean, maybe Pearce with Rollins on SmackDown. It'll be Rollins, and they'll have J&J security, and even though the one's not even with the company anymore, but, you know, phone calls, all it takes. And the thing is, you know, they're still going to do what they want. You know, regardless of what we think, what we say, the WWE is still going to do. Vince McMahon is still going to do what the hell he wants. Okay, here comes Stephanie McMahon, round 2. Round 2 of the 2020 WWE Draft. Round 2.
For speaking out against racism and for providing the safety of our WWE fans and superstars during this COVID-19 pandemic. Congratulations, Stephanie.
I would think SmackDown's going to get 3 picks this round because they only got 2 in the first. Okay. The New Day are going to win the titles tonight. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are going to defend their SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day tonight on SmackDown.
Now the first pick of the second round, Raw.
Monday Night Raw. And AJ Styles is going back to Monday nights. AJ, the phenomenal himself, back on Monday Night Raw. That didn't take long. He was only on SmackDown once again. House AJ Styles built for a few months following WrestleMania. But Sasha Banks first over Bayley to SmackDown. So maybe Bayley later on will go to Raw. And Sasha's going to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. She will. It won't be tonight. It'll be at Hell in a Cell probably. Okay, Naomi going to Monday Night Raw. Don't really care about that. But they need to figure something out with the women's division now. I don't care, but they need to figure something out. And Bianca Belair's going to SmackDown, so Street Profits going to SmackDown too. We're going to have new Raw Tag Champs come Monday night. Final pick for Monday Night Raw in the second round.
The WWE Women's Tag Team.
And Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Okay, nobody cares about that either. They stay on Raw. So that's the thing. There's been how many so far now tonight? They've been drafted either Raw or SmackDown, yet they are staying put. They have not been technically moved. But AJ Styles going from SmackDown to Raw. That's the big one in round 2. Rollins from Raw to SmackDown. That was a big one in round 1. So we're going to get AJ and Drew then, you would think. AJ and Lashley going back to TNA for a little bit. Styles via his phone at home saying he should be offended. And yeah, he wasn't on SmackDown that long after WrestleMania. He won the Intercontinental title, though. Was in a damn good feud with Jeff Hardy and Sami Zayn. And then tonight, back to Monday Night Raw. And is this because Heyman's with Reigns on SmackDown now or not? Probably, but probably not. And AJ Styles going back to Monday Night Raw. So Monday nights have once again become phenomenal. Awesome. Miz and Morrison in tag team action next, taking on Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy. They could split them up finally, rather than have them feud. Just split them up and have one on Raw, have the other on SmackDown. But here comes Jeff Hardy. He'll stay on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan's one to keep an eye out for, too. I mean, because they could go back to DB and Sammy for the Intercontinental title. That was WrestleMania. They could insert... Honestly, Jeff Hardy's probably going to be Reigns' next challenger after Hell in a Cell right now, I'm thinking. You have Rollins then, along with Daniel Bryan if he comes back to SmackDown. He hasn't been on Raw, though, in forever, though, either, so... Making some big moves. Rollins back to SmackDown. If Bryan returns, have him go to Raw Monday night. You could have, of course, you know, like I said, Daniel Bryan on SmackDown still once he comes back, and with Rollins, number 1 contendership, go up against Reigns, and then, you know, later on have whatever they decide to do. I don't know. The original bro, Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy, they're going to win this. There's no way in hell they lose this tag team match. This will be a good match, though. And then we'll see what the Miz and Morrison are up to. If they are going to, because the Money in the Bank's sitting there with Otis, if they do a feud with that for the briefcase for the first time or not, it'd be a better option. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but... I'm not going to be shocked if they split him up. I mean, hell, Riddle could go to Raw, too, honestly. He's been on SmackDown, though, ever since he got called up. So we'll see what happens. Been interesting. It's been all right so far. I mean, nothing major other than Rollins and AJ switching from SmackDown Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw, respectively. So, other than that, everybody else has stayed put, even though they're technically being considered, you know, drafted to wherever. And we'll hit another commercial break. So, get back to that tag team match shortly. As mentioned, Week 5 in the NFL kicked off last night. Buccaneers, Bears, Chicago, now 4-1, handing Tampa Bay their second loss on the season. Bucks cannot win on the road. Tom Brady lost his first ever Thursday night football game last night, as well as Nick Foles got the better of Brady for the second time in a few years. So Bears last night, winners over the now 3-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. However, come Sunday, one game with Denver and New England postponed until Monday night at 5 p.m. Eastern Time now due to a COVID test that went positive, along with Bills and Titans now on Tuesday night. Second time ever in NFL history, the NFL will have a Tuesday night game this upcoming Tuesday in Nashville at LP Field with Buffalo and Tennessee. And then the Bills are supposed to turn around as of now and still play next Thursday night at home against the Kansas City Chiefs, who host the Raiders on Sunday. However, if the Bills-Titans does move forward and play on Tuesday, Chiefs-Bills will then get pushed till later on in the weekend next week during Week 6, potentially a Thursday night game into a Saturday night game, or a Sunday afternoon kick, or even a Sunday night, Monday night. Who knows? They could switch the schedule around there too. But a doubleheader on Monday night now. Broncos, Patriots at 5. Chargers, Saints, still for the time being in New Orleans. Thoughts, prayers right now to the Gulf Coast. Hurricane Delta, of course, hitting right now. There was rumors that the Chargers-Saints game could potentially be moved to Indianapolis, play at the Colts home stadium, Lucas Oil in Indy. However, nothing made official as of yet. Sunday Night Football, Vikings and Seahawks. That should be a good one. However, on Sunday, Raiders and Chiefs, Eagles, Steelers, Rams and the Skins, along with the Bengals and the Ravens, and out of the AFC North. Jags and Texans, Houston's first game after firing Bill O'Brien on Monday. Colts, Browns, that should be a good game. And then Broncos, Patriots is supposed to be the other 4:25 kick on CBS. However, of course, now moved to Monday night at 5 p.m. So we'll have another doubleheader. However, that game is going to kick off a few hours before than last week's 7 p.m. kick. So it's the world we live in right now. It's one day at a time. Everything's changing every second, and we continue to move forward. So hopefully, this won't become a every week or an every week occurrence in the National Football League, because they don't have that much time to kill in between now and the end of the regular season with 16-game regular season schedule, and then of course the playoffs before we get to Super Bowl 55. But we'll get more into football and everything else going on in the sports world on Sunday. So be sure to tune in for more live reactions. Play Miz and Morrison versus Riddle and Hardy, double clothesline, as both Hardy and Morrison are down and out in the middle of the ring. Miz looking for a tag made on the other side as well. So now the Miz and Matt Riddle legal.
Kicks from the original Pro. And what a blow by Riddle. T-bone suplex. Oh, and a forearm to meet Miz. Another one to Miz, and Matt Riddle dominating the Proton. This so-called greatest tag team. It's the greatest tag team of the 21st century. So laughable.
Riddle with a suplex. 1-2. Morrison breaks it up. Jeff Hardy going for a twist of fate on Johnny SmackDown in the middle of the ring. That connects. Riddle with a big knee. Right to the Miz. Now gonna 1, 2, and Riddle and Hardy win real quick. Especially coming back from the commercial break. That was an alright match. Wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be. But it was just added earlier this afternoon. So now what the hell? We got Lars Sullivan's back. Lars. Lars Sullivan is back in the WWE's on SmackDown, coming out after the Matt Riddle, Jeff Hardy, Miz and Morrison match. Lars Sullivan walking down the ramp. Lars going after Hardy and Riddle. Lars Sullivan is back. Oh, God. Lars. Attacking Riddle. Clothesline to Hardy. Riddle with a few kicks. Lars, the Gene Snitsky of the WWE in 2020 with a big power slam to Matt Riddle. Now going to choke slam Jeff Hardy. Big clothesline to Hardy. I don't think people are liking this at all. You can hear the boos from the virtual WWE universe in the WWE Thunderdome. Lars coming back as a heel. If only he could talk. Or if they gave him somebody to talk for him. Lars Sullivan attacking Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle. Now the Miz trying to escape. Lars Sullivan grabbing the Miz. And so is Lars Sullivan. So we do have a return tonight. Is Lars Sullivan now on SmackDown? We haven't seen him in God, what, a year and a half? If not a little longer. I think it's been about a year and a half. He's been out with an injury, and then they're going to bring him back, and he got cold feet, and yeah. If I'm Miz, I'm saying, yeah, stand over, talk to me, and scream. Jesus Christ. Lars Sullivan. They'll have him beat jobbers for the next month. They'll make him look as strong and powerful as they can, except they won't do a goddamn thing with him. They might give him a title match. Maybe Lars is going to go up against the Tribal Chief and Roman Reigns. I would think he'd go up against Sami Zayn first if they were going to have a title, but Vince say, this is such good shit. Give me Reigns and Lars for the title. And have Otis cash in. Jeez. Lars Sullivan returning on SmackDown tonight during the WWE draft. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to think. I don't. Obviously, he's had some issues in his past, as we all have had, of course, but with social media nowadays, Lars Sullivan was put in a place that, of course, he didn't want to revisit. So I'll leave it at that for the time being. If, of course, you'd like to know more, there's ways you can look that up, of course. But yeah, Lars Sullivan back at WWE up on SmackDown. So even an injured superstar that I don't believe was on the list of eligible superstars to be drafted tonight and Monday night during the draft, returning on SmackDown during the draft. So Lars Sullivan. Good old Lars. We'll see what the future holds for him. I mean, like I said, they'll probably just have him, beat jobbers, and then at that point, they'll think they're in a good place and a spot for him, but it's gonna get very hard to watch, along with tiring, very shortly by the end of the year. Because other than him attacking people and then screaming, you know, Mr. Tough Guy. I don't think he's done anything else relevant, at least, in his NXT and then a short-lived main roster career before he got injured, now returning tonight. So, we'll see. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Nor do I honestly really care. You know, Lars, he's just that one big guy, Gene Snitsky. No offense to Snitsky by any means, but that's what he looks like. That Vince just likes, but all he does is power slam people. Look at Braun Strowman. And no offense to Strowman either. I've been over this time and time again, but all he does is power slam people, and he can't do anything else. The freak Lars Sullivan's back, says Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie about ready to announce round 3 of the WWE draft here tonight.
And now the first pick in the 3rd round of the WWE draft, Raw selects Ricochet.
And Ricochet is going to get drafted by himself as a singles competitor, staying on Monday Night Raw. So hopefully they'll finally do something with him too. If only the booking was 10 times better. Okay, Jey Uso being selected by himself as well to SmackDown, staying on SmackDown, so nothing big there. And Jimmy Uso still injured, so no Usos as a tag team. And Mandy Rose, who just, this is pathetic. This is awful. These people are already on Raw or SmackDown, and they're drafted here. Yet they're staying put, for God's sake. Mandy Rose, who just came over from SmackDown, staying on Raw. And Ray and Dominic Mysterio going to SmackDown. All right. So Rollins, along with the Mysterios, going to SmackDown. So they'll continue that feud maybe. And Ray hasn't been on SmackDown in quite a while. Shout out to the late, great, happy birthday, Eddie Guerrero today. And The Miz and John Morrison going to Monday Night Raw. That's big. That's a big move. That's good. I'll give them that. So back-to-back to close it out with, they consider Ray and Dominic a tag team for the draft at least. Keep them together. Ray and Dom going to SmackDown, Miz and Morrison going to Raw. Those two, along with Rollins to SmackDown and AJ to Raw, those are the big picks. That's it. They didn't separate us, says Ray and Dominic Mysterio, as they're backstage now talking. Seth Rollins not getting away from the Mysterio family anytime soon. Now it's boss time. Thanks, Michael Cole. It'll be Bayley and Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title. Oh, boo-hoo. Who the hell cares? And I swear to God, I'm bugged because I just said happy birthday to the late, great Eddie Guerrero, and then Michael Cole, 2 seconds later, happy birthday, Eddie Guerrero. Hell in a Cell coming up on the 25th. See what happens with those championship Hell in a Cell matches. Now a One and I Quit match. Other than that, not a whole lot advertised at this point in time. They still got a few weeks to build, of course. A little over 2.5. Until Hell in a Cell on October the 25th, where I'll have live reactions for the play as well, so be sure to tune back in. And yeah, this was the Friday night SmackDown last year. It'll be a year to the day on Sunday. where it was the second ever SmackDown on Fox. So after the debut episode, they then had the draft, second weekend in October last year, as it is once again this year. That's when Bayley won. Well, returned first of all as a heel. No more Bayley buddies. Had her hair cut. Won the SmackDown Women's title that night, and she's held the title ever since. She's been SmackDown Women's Champion for 1 year running. About ready to defend against Sasha Banks here tonight on SmackDown during the WWE Draft. They'll also face Hell in a Cell for the title, more than likely, depending on what happens in this match now. Bayley comes out with a steel chair as well. So as of now, as far as I know at least, this is still a regular championship match. Not a no DQ or another false count anywhere by any means, or a streak fight, but Bayley with a steel chair. So we'll see if that gets involved by any means. As mentioned earlier, this match will end in an odd way, of course, to continue the feud until Hell in a Cell, before they have another match, of course, for the title. It's not even at the start of the show or main eventing, it's halfway through. As we're at about the midway point on the evening for Friday Night SmackDown. So we'll have a few more rounds. I'm thinking 5 per SmackDown and Raw. Sasha attacking from behind, kicking down the steel chair, and then slapping Bayley. And the ref didn't even get the chance to hold the title up in the air, saying this is a championship match. Bell rings, now match underway. And unfortunately, Sasha's going to beat Bayley. Because Bayley, I mean, even if Sasha or Bayley, if they were smart, I'll say this, they would not have Bayley get drafted. They would just say, okay, she's still on SmackDown as your women's champion. Then after she loses to Sasha, she debuts on Raw. She goes to Raw. Bayley walking away up the ramp. Here comes Sasha from behind. Sasha's already been drafted to SmackDown, and we know she's going to win the title from Bayley. But if they have Bayley get drafted to Raw tonight or on Monday night, that's a clear giveaway that Sasha's going to beat her, even though we already know it's going to happen. But that's just their mindset. Okay, nobody thinks it's going to, go this way or that way or whatever way it'll go. So Sasha, regardless, in the end, is going to win the title, whether it be tonight or in a few weeks, which is a little unfortunate. Bayley needs to stay champion until they find somebody else to defeat her for the championship. Whether it be somebody coming out from NXT or somebody coming over from Raw. We saw Naomi go from SmackDown to Raw. So, as they bring up the draft ticker at the bottom of the screen once again, it'll be interesting to see how they play it out. I mean, they didn't do the heel turn with Bayley and Sasha until just recently, playing that out for almost a good year, or for the most part of this year at least. So Bayley and Sasha on SmackDown for the women's title. Crossface Bayley, she taps out, she loses her championship. They did say it's for the SmackDown Women's title, however, the ref didn't hold up in the air and say, hey, this is the championship match. So they'll work their way around it, of course, and it'll end by DQ or something along those lines. And Bayley will retain. Like, Sasha will win, but Bayley will retain because she's the champ. And then Bayley will defend against Sasha at Hell in a Cell, inside Hell in a Cell, probably for the championship. And Bayley with that steel chair. Bayley with a steel chair right to the gut. Bell rings, match underway, what I just said. So, winner by DQ is Sasha Banks, with Bayley as your women's champion retains her title. Yeah, we know that. Thank you, Greg Hamilton. And now Bayley gonna attack Sasha some more in the ring with a steel chair. Sasha actually fighting back though. And honestly, anymore too, it doesn't really matter if you stand tall or not, because even if you stand tall, we've seen, I don't know how many as of late still win the title, or still win their match at the upcoming pay-per-view. Because normally you stand tall, you lose, but honestly anymore, that's not the case. Like they're doing a better job at that, you know, keeping us on the edge of our seats, you know, guessing, hey, who's going to win this or that. But if they draft Bayley to Raw, we know it. This feud's done for even after it just started, and Sasha's going to win the title because she's already been drafted to SmackDown. Bayley going to roll out of the ring. The ref's holding Sasha back now in the ring. And Sasha's going to jump off the top rope with Bayley's head in the steel chair, it looked like, before she escaped. But, nonetheless, this is one of the best things that they have going, yeah, but I do not care whatsoever for Sasha Banks. I don't get why people like her. She's not that good. Bayley's been better because she's turned heel, of course. And she's better as a heel champion at that, too. So now the Kevin Owens show with Alexa Bliss. This was last week on SmackDown, and the Fiend attacked, and then we had the Kevin Owens show on Raw as well, with Bray Wyatt not coming out. We then had an episode of Firefly Funhouse before we get the match tonight, which we already knew we were going to get, because they announced it last Friday on SmackDown. That's the thing, they announce a few too many things a little too soon. That's one of their production problems I've noticed. That it just screws everything up then. Especially in a time like this where, you know, there's not a... yeah, he's here all right. He's here, isn't he? He's everywhere. And I can hear him now. Alexa Bliss has gone senile. She has, in fact, become Sister Abigail by the looks of it. And is with the Fiend Bray Wyatt. That's why I always say it's just the little things. If they can get those right, everything else can work itself out. But they do what they want, so we watch. That's all we do. Still to come tonight, Owens and the Fiend. They changed the graphic for the Fiend. Vince was probably bitching at somebody about that. Well, if you change the Fiend's graphic, why don't you change Kevin Owens' graphic to the KO show graphics? Kevin Owens now backstage wrapping his wrist, and Alexa Bliss walking up to him. Let him in. And they fade to black, go to commercial. Now we got by the looks of it, a WWE Network commercial. Relive a year unlike any other. Rumble, COVID, WrestleMania, all the cinematic matches, SummerSlam with the Thunderdome. Introducing WWE Best Moments of 2020 this Sunday on Fox. So that'll be after football. I won't watch because I'll be watching football. Except, on top of that too, I already know what the hell has already happened in the year 2020 in pro wrestling. So I don't need to... It's not like, you know, they're having that in the middle of the week next week. That'd be different. But, of course, just something else to watch for the WWE at least, for them to present. Now, how long that'll be, probably only be an hour or two. Everything will be edited and cut down. It won't be full length. So it won't be as good as what we've already seen live, you know, over the past, now 10 months as we're into October, so. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
In the 1800s, ketchup was medicine. Did you know cricket has nationwide 5G? Oh, not surprising, but true. And now I also know that in the 19th century, you would have been the picture of health.
Surprising, but true. Cricket has nationwide 5G.
Don't be afraid. This Halloween will be just like last. We'll buy tons of Reese's Cups for the youngins. And eat them all ourselves.
Good choice. Head and Shoulders gives you up to 100% dandruff protection.
I never do anything less than 100%.
Me neither. I make 100% of my leg days.
My hair looks just incredible, even in 100% humidity.
Take it up to 100 with clinically proven Head and Shoulders.
Introducing Wendy's new pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger. Nothing will distract you from the pretzel bun and beer cheese. Not even all the comments on the pixie posting of your pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger. Download the app to order ahead and get Wendy's rewards.
Now, in the ring, they sort of screwed up the entrance there. It'll be Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura in the ring, about ready to defend their SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day, who are now back at full capacity. They are 100% healthy with the Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. However, Big E and Kofi will probably be the go-to competitors in this match. Xavier will be with Francesca, the trombone, ringside. And then they'll squash the rumors if they do win tonight. All the New Day is going to Raw, or they're getting split up. And actually, it's Kofi and Xavier, no Big E. And then they'd have Cesaro Nakamura go to Raw. But if they even have them retain, the New Day then would probably, Kofi would go to Raw. He'd go back to the Intercontinental title days of, that was 3 months ago already. Holy hell, the horror show at Extreme Rules. Yeah, that'll be 3 months coming up here shortly in a week or so. That's when Cesaro and Nakamura defeated the New Day and won the SmackDown tag titles in that tables match. That's right, yeah. And they've been champs ever since, too. So Xavier, healthy. He's good to go. He's been cleared. Yeah, he's been on the shelf for quite a while, too. So a few returns tonight from injury with Lars Sullivan and now Xavier Woods. Kofi's been on the shelf for a few months, but ever since that Extreme Rules pay-per-view, of course, but obviously not as long as Xavier. So for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, it's Cesaro Nakamura versus the New Day, as Big E has now been given a singles push and is not a part of this match. It's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Cesaro and Xavier starting it off. Nice uppercut from the Swiss Superman. Trending #1. Hashtag SmackDown. Hashtag WWE Draft when you share on social media as well. And Of course, good to see Xavier back from that Achilles injury. We've seen a lot of those in the NFL this year as well, along with ACLs being torn. So, of course, long roads to recovery, but good to see Xavier and the New Day back at full strength. Xavier off the ropes a few times, sliding underneath the legs of Cesaro. A big right hand and then a kick to Nakamura ringside. Honestly, Cesaro and Nakamura would be better off by themselves as singles competitors if the feud's right, of course, for a mid-card title. But if they don't keep them together as a tag team, as a tag champs, they'll probably just end up jobbing or putting some talent over. So Nakamura with a few kicks to the New Day, and then they fade to black, go to commercial once again. So it's Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defending their SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the New Day. The last match that we had, that was a tag team bout, non-title of course, because it was for the championships. We then saw a big return afterwards with Lars Sullivan making a return. Now we did see Kofi and Xavier return backstage earlier dressed as security guards. And now Xavier Wrestling returning full time from his injury. But are we going to have another Lars Sullivan like return that we just witnessed earlier tonight after this tag team match is currently going on? So other than the big moves with Rollins going from Raw to SmackDown, Styles going from SmackDown to Raw, and then along with The Miz and Morrison from SmackDown to Raw, and Ray and Dominic Mysterio going from Raw to SmackDown, everyone else has stayed put. It's honestly not been that good. In my opinion, at least. Everybody has their own opinion.
Everything you need when you need it most. Introducing the Toyota Venza with standard all-wheel drive. Toyota, let's go places. Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing what? Using my Old Spice moisturizer with shea butter body wash?
All I wanted was to use your body wash.
And all I wanted was to have a body wash.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network. Include the best in entertainment like Apple Music and offer plans to mix and match starting at $35. Plus, get 2 Samsung Galaxy S20 FE 5G phones for $200 when you switch. Only at Verizon.
New Advil Dual Action with acetaminophen. Fights pain in 2 ways. Advil targets pain at the source, while acetaminophen blocks pain signals. The future of pain relief is here. New Advil Dual Action.
At Olive Garden, it's easier than ever to enjoy what you love from us in the comfort of your own home. Order and pay online. Choose from all your favorites. Then bring it all home with Carside Pickup. Only at Olive Garden.
Saturday on Fox. We are back live on Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. SmackDown Tag Team titles up for grabs. Cesaro and Nakamura, the champions.
New Day are going to win this. I mean, I said that earlier, saying it again now. It only makes sense to put the titles back on them. But if they don't, then they do go to Raw. Them and the Street Profits. Or if the Street Profits are coming to SmackDown, it's a New Day then for the SmackDown Tag Team titles after the New Day win tonight. I mean, it all adds up and makes sense. It'll work itself out. Tags made. But, so they could do that either way. Big leg kick from Xavier Woods. Up, up. Down, down with a clothesline. And Xavier off the ropes. Drop kick to Cesaro through the ropes. kick right to the side of the head of Shinsuke. And then a DDT to Nakamura. Shinsuke really holding the back of his head, kick out at 2.5.
Xavier Woods realizes New Day has a great chance here. Take another look at this. Woods pulling himself off the bottom rope before spiking Shinsuke with a DDT. Here comes Woods. Woods sent into the corner. Shinsuke Nakamura has it where he wants it in with a section. Tag made. Here comes Cesaro. And now the SmackDown Tag Team Champions rolling on all cylinders. Look at the strength of Cesaro.
Nakamura with a kick. He actually slipped off the turnbuckle in the corner. Kick out at 2.5 by Xavier. Cesaro to Xavier, hey, stay home. You should have stayed home, not return from your injury. Kofi with a DDT that he didn't get all of, but good enough, especially with it ringside to Cesaro. Rolling him back now into the ring. And then Cesaro with an uppercut. Cover 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. And now Kofi's gonna go for a little ride. Cesaro gonna pick him up and spin him around before Nakamura hits a Kinshasa, but then Xavier ringside holding Nakamura back before both Cesaro and Nakamura kick him out. But here comes Kofi from behind. And trouble in paradise from Kofi. Cover 1, 2 from Nakamura. Kick out. As we had a little bit of a reversal there. Xavier tags in. Another trouble in paradise to Panama. However, Xavier legal. Woods hits an elbow drop from the 1, 2, 3 New Day, new tag team champs on SmackDown. Street Profits will come over on Monday night. We'll have a tag team championship match, you would think. Then on Monday, too, they'll lose to whoever. Cesaro Nakamura, they'll be done as a tag team. They'll either split them up, keep one on Raw, keep one on SmackDown, how they might keep them as a tag team. But Big E out celebrating as he's wrapped up with some ice. Kofi and Xavier, the New Day, your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So Xavier tagged himself in. And then Kofi off the top rope got hit with an uppercut. And then, well, actually, right after that, Kofi hit Trouble in Paradise. And then Xavier with the big elbow drop. And then the cover 1, 2, 3 was real quick. All right, so round 4 now of the draft. That was a good match. It was a wacky finish there. It wasn't all, even though the tag was made and it all worked out. Okay, only 4 rounds tonight. The rest will be on Monday. This is the final round now of the draft. Monday Night Raw. And the New Day are still going to Monday Night Raw. So they're going to be stripped of their SmackDown Tag Team titles then, probably. Yeah, what about Big E? Big E staying on SmackDown. So Kofi and Xavier going to Raw. Big E staying on SmackDown. The New Day now officially split up. So the SmackDown Tag Team Champs are going to Raw. They could still, if they don't strip the titles, merge those championships to have a unified tag team division once again. Dana Brooke staying on Raw. So Raw getting Naomi and Dana Brooke. Big whoop. Give me a break. SmackDown. Okay, Otis going to stay on SmackDown too. There hasn't been any movement other than a few. Come on, Otis on SmackDown still. Do something with Money in the Bank, please. And Angel Garza, who's injured, staying on Raw. So Andrade's probably going to come to SmackDown. But that won't be until Monday night. Everybody else that gets drafted will be drafted on Monday night on Raw. Okay, so the New Day split up. That's official now. Other than the New Day being split up, Rollins going from Raw to SmackDown, AJ Styles going from SmackDown to Raw, the Mysterios from Raw to SmackDown, and Miz and Morrison from SmackDown to Raw. This draft tonight has been awful. Flat out awful. And the New Day, they don't know what to think as they stand in the middle of the ring. Kofi and Xavier going to Raw, Big E staying on SmackDown. But that's good for him if they're going to give him a singles push, because he could be another challenger for Roman Reigns. Lars Sullivan and Big E, number one contendership maybe. You still have Jeff Hardy. There's still a lot of unknown because we haven't had any movement now come Monday night as of yet, until we get to that point, of course, with more superstars staying on Raw or going to SmackDown. And hopefully it'll be a little bit better than it was tonight, because even with whoever getting drafted to Raw or SmackDown, there's only been a handful, literally like 4 or only 5 moves, draftees that have been drafted from, that are actually good moves, that make sense, that are, you know, worth talking about, that actually moved, you know, from brand to brand. Everybody else has literally stayed put, but they still say, oh, they've been drafted to here or wherever. Honestly, a little disappointed. Maybe the worst WWE draft ever. But we'll see how Monday night goes. We still got a little action before we wrap things up on SmackDown tonight. But like I said earlier, when they always, you know, promote something heavily and then they don't come through, it's just, it's bad. But no, it's still best for business. Like, give me a break. No, it's not. Like, they care, but they don't care. They're still going to do what they want. So, it's just, it could be so much better. It honestly could. And it's like at that point again where, okay, I get they're shaking stuff up, but if they don't do anything with this, moving out of this, it's just going to make it even worse. And they wonder why people don't watch. Like, come on. I don't care if it's Raw, NXT, SmackDown. Like, give me a break. It's like, don't write a check that your ass cannot cash. If they, you know, want good TV. Because it just seems like it's, which I understand it's a cycle. History is going to repeat itself and whatnot and all that, but it's just, it's so bad sometimes. Like, it's just, It's not even worth talking about. Like, it's just pathetic. But, hey, we move on. So, we'll see what happens. This Monday, the draft will, in fact, continue on Monday Night Raw. We'll see the rest of the Raw roster stay put. The rest of the SmackDown roster stay put. Minus about 4, maybe 5 moves, as we saw tonight, with superstars actually being moved from Raw to SmackDown that are actually some good moves that are, you know, as mentioned, worth talking about. Okay, the 2020 draft will continue on Talking Smack tomorrow as well. So we'll probably have now a few social media picks, as we've seen before, take place tomorrow during that there probably won't be anything spectacular by any means happen during that, but you never know. I mean, everybody will be buzzing, talking about it regardless. Heavy Machinery now backstage. Tucker's sort of turned into either a preacher or a lawyer, maybe both, as Otis with his cut-off suit with Money in the Bank. He's been served once again, and we'll see what happens with Otis and his Money in the Bank briefcase.
The Mrs. Boyer is filing a continuance. Continuing what? It means they're delaying the trial. Delaying?
And, okay, they're going to delay Otis and Money in the Bank for the time being because they still don't know what the hell to do. Miz and Morrison on Raw now, though. Okay? Otis on SmackDown. So come Survivor Series, we'll have a match between the two for the Money in the Bank, which I wouldn't mind. And this goes back to Money in the Bank back in May. They should have never had Otis win the thing in the first place because they haven't done anything with it since. And I don't care if they're waiting to have fans back or not. Like, don't give me that bullshit. Like, if it's good booking, it's a good story, and they think it's good for TV, so be it. Do it. You have the Thunderdome, you have all your virtual fans. Whether or not they're going to be there till the end of the month or not, they will be, and they'll be there, you know, for the months to come, because they're not going to be, whether or not they just brought fans back to NXT. You know, you have to get COVID tested. You got to wear a mask to actually attend those. And, like, some people would travel, but no, not as many as they think. Like, honestly, this is the best thing that they could do for fans right now. And they've been doing it for a little over 2 months now, and it needs to stay this way moving forward, because until they get back to what they know as a normal touring schedule with actually, you know, 3-4 nights a week, town to town to town, you know, filling 10, 15,000 seats up with people and having a show, that's not going to be happening anytime soon, whether we like it or not. So it's just how it is, and if you don't like it, get over it. Because there's nothing you or any of us are going to be able to do about it. Like, we can still sit here and bitch and complain all we want, but it's not going to help. It's not going to work. It's just going to make matters worse. Okay, and Sasha Banks just now lays down the challenge for Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's title inside a Hell in a Cell at Hell in a Cell on the 25th of October. That's when Sasha will more than likely not win the SmackDown Women's Championship.
And I used to love you so very much.
Oh, boo-hoo. Nobody cares. You suck.
I am going to take the one thing that you love the most, finally.
Or unfortunately, but, you know, I don't know what they see in you by any means. It's like one of those relationships that, even though opposites attract, it's, so they say at least, opposites are, as we have the Fiend Bray Wyatt now, let me in, the Fiend Bray Wyatt on SmackDown getting an entrance, having his first match on SmackDown next in the main event of the evening during the WWE Draft on Friday Night SmackDown tonight against the prize fighter himself, Kevin Owens. Thank you once again for tuning in. and watching. Let me in. Here comes the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Don't know who to pick for this. This was the question of the day on social media. Be sure to go vote on the poll. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. Let me know in the comments. My top 2 favorite superstars. So, I mean, this could go either way. Regardless of who wins, they'll probably switch brands. Bray to Raw on Monday night, Owens to SmackDown. So hashtag WWE Draft, hashtag SmackDown inside the hashtag WWE Thunderdome once again when you share on social media. Bray's gonna win this by far. There's no doubt about it. But myself, I mean, I don't know who to pick. I mean, you would think I'd go with Owens all the way, but I do like Bray a little bit more. But it makes sense storyline-wise that Bray also wins. So we'll see what happens. Alexa Bliss will probably get involved. Help out Bray. So we'll see. So they have Bray with his entrance, and then they fade to black, and we're going to go to a commercial break before Owens comes out, and then we start the match, and then we'll have 10 minutes then probably after that, with another commercial break during the match before we close it out.
You fell asleep with your son again.
Fell asleep with your son again, no, you didn't.
They need to figure something out with Money in the Bank. They do. Pathetic. It's bad. Just awful. But I think they're getting to that point, like they know they need to do something with it. And that's why they're, you know, having Miz and Morrison with Otis. The court part to it, hey, you've been served, and, you know, everything else. So, especially with Miz Morrison now on Raw, like I said, that'd be battle for brand supremacy for the Money in the Bank. Raw versus SmackDown, Miz or even Morrison versus Otis for the Money in the Bank. Miz or Morrison win, and then whoever doesn't turns, feuds, and then whoever wins that becomes Mr. Money in the Bank. And then after that, you know, who knows if they'll have a successful cash-in or not moving forward. But we'll get to that point, of course, when we get there. Been an interesting night. I mean, other than the draft, we did have a good match with Big E and Sheamus, which Big E won, and then they added in the New Day challenging Nakamura and Cesaro for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The New Day won, and then the New Day were drafted to Raw. Big E drafted to SmackDown, so the New Day split up, of course, at that point. We'll see what they do with the tag team titles, if they unify them or not. Probably at this point in time, unless the Street Profits, of course, go to SmackDown on Monday night during the second part of the draft, as the draft for tonight's done over with. Bianca Belair went to SmackDown, they keep couples together, so probably, and then they keep the tag team division as it is, it's split up. You have champs on both brands. It makes sense. It works out better. There's more room to have better feuds, better storylines moving forward. All Otis's Money in the Bank segment was a little thing backstage, looking at a dictionary, and then, hey, you've been served again, delaying the process of what's yet to come. Bayley and Sasha ended in a DQ, so Bayley's still your SmackDown Women's Champion. And then Sasha just challenged her to a Hell in a Cell match with the title of Hell in a Cell, which we knew we were going to get anyway. Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy, they defeated The Miz and Morrison, but then Lars Sullivan returned. Lars Sullivan back, do not know. And now coming up next, it'll be Kevin Owens against the Fiend Bray Wyatt in singles competition, tonight's main event on SmackDown. The first night of the WWE draft to wrap up here before concluding then on Monday Night Raw Monday night. We'll also have live reactions both places. Be sure to tune back in. But the draft going to continue on Monday night as they show off the graphic for the Monday night Raw draft poll. It'll continue this Monday. And it'll be the same as it's been tonight, with only, okay, the season premiere of SmackDown next week, even though that was last Friday. It'll be Reigns against Strowman for the Universal title. They're only doing SmackDown season premiere because AEW is doing their anniversary show next Wednesday. Next Friday as well, it'll be a... okay, the New Day's farewell to SmackDown, so they're still going to be on SmackDown for another week. Big E going to stay here full time though. It'll be a 6-man tag, and then next Friday they have blank superstars in the back for, of course, anybody drafted to SmackDown coming tonight on Raw during the draft. But it'll be the same. All this person's drafted to here or there, even though they're staying put, and then there's only going to be about 4 or 5 that are worth actually talking about move-wise. With Rollins, AJ, as Owens comes to the ring now on SmackDown, about to take on Bray Wyatt, Mysterio's and Miz and Morrison, along with the New Day being split up. So it obviously, yeah, it could have been 10 times better, but this is what they gave us. We gotta live with it, so it is what it is. It's just, it's just pathetic. It is. It honestly is. Alistair's probably going to come out and interfere too, honestly. I know I said Alexa, but Alistair, because he's in a feud with both Owens, or Owens is in a feud with both Alistair and Bray right now. That'll set up then Bray, or Owens and Alistair then for Hell in a Cell. And then depending on what they do with Bray, he'll probably go to Raw Monday night. Then we get Drew and Wyatt for the title after Orton, or Orton and Wyatt, House of Horrors 2.0. So, bell rings, match underway. And Owens and The Fiend are going back and forth. Trending #1, once again, hashtag SmackDown. Share this live reaction stream using that hashtag, along with hashtag WWE Draft, WWE Thunderdome on social media when, in fact, you do share. Be sure to subscribe as well, and tune back in for more live reaction streams live right here on YouTube. Big clothesline ringside from Bray Wyatt after a crossbody in the middle of the ring. Yeah, Bray normally doesn't wrestle on SmackDown, or even on Raw for that matter. It's normally always just a Firefly Funhouse, or an in-ring or even a backstage puppet sighting of some sorts. He's normally, since The Fiend was created, only wrestled on pay-per-views. I mean, dark matches, yeah, for both Raw and SmackDown. I've seen that personally. Videos right here on the channel. But as far as known, as long as they're saying so, Bray's never fought on SmackDown before as The Fiend Bray Wyatt. And I actually honestly believe that because I don't think he ever has. So Bray in control here. So Owens just hit a kick and then a slam before Bray just stood up. Now has him in a chokehold. Through the ropes ringside. Right in front of the announce table. Bray picks him up, slams him down on top of that. I mean, hell, Sammy could even come out too, honestly. They want to revisit that, like I said. And they're going to take another commercial break, as thought, right at 10 till. So, I tell you what. Ric Flair and the Street Profits, who will probably go to SmackDown, honestly. And that'll be good for them because they've been on Raw ever since they got called up from NXT last April. Especially with Bianca over there, like I said, they try to keep couples together, so she was our draft to SmackDown. New Day now on Raw. Yeah, that'll be the... There's a few, you know, clear-cut, hey, these guys are going to go to Raw now, or these guys, or even women for that matter, are going to go to SmackDown now come Monday night during the second night of the draft, but only about 5 moves that were
I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on our car insurance.
big breaking news. Other than that, everybody else stayed put, or they're superstars that myself I honestly don't care about, or two, on top of that, with superstars that are just going to be put in a feud that it's not going to work out. It's going to be jobbing left and right, and it's just the booking. If the booking was better, everything would work out. And I've admitted recently, yeah, it's been better, but then they do this to shake things up, and it just makes it worse to an extent. So, if only they can, you know, take a positive out of a negative, a good from a bad. You know, who the ugly is in that, I don't know, but only time will tell. We'll see down the road. We'll have to find out. And that's why, you know, obviously they're on all year long. We watch all year long. And, you know, like I've said, they care, but they don't care. They're going to do what they want regardless, whether we like it or not, because they know we'll still watch. Plain and simple, end of story. There's nothing else to it.
I want to get glow sticks. I want to get a tube top. Oh boy. Fox Animation Domination. All new Fox Sunday.
Are you ready? Finally. So the Fiend on SmackDown wrestling Kevin Owens from Monday Night Raw. And Bray's been in full control since this match began. Owens trying to fight back. Like I said, I like both of these superstars. I could honestly care less who wins. Bray's going to win, though, because, like I said, either Alexa, Alice, or Sammy's going to come out. With the first two more relevant than the third for the ending of the match, at least. Sammy's a good Intercontinental Champion. But it only makes sense to have either Alexa or Alice interfere to close this out. Maybe even both, for that matter. But Bray sitting there in the middle of the ring with his tongue out. Owens rolling over, holding the back of his neck. Bray gonna go for Sister Abigail. Owens fighting back. Super kick. Another super kick. Bray still hasn't moved. Third time's a charm with the super kick partay. Owens corner to corner with the cannonball. And just as Owens is gaining momentum here with a few cannonballs, Bray gonna roll out of the ring. But one way or another, the lights are gonna start to, not Retribution-esque, but flicker or go out, and then, or hell, either Alexa or Alice are just gonna attack from behind. Referee with a count, super kick from Owens to Bray. He's now on the ring apron. Frog splash, Eddie style to Bray Wyatt ringside. So frog splash off the ring apron to the Fiend Bray Wyatt in front of the announce table. And Bray right back up on his feet. Now Bray dragging Owens out of the ring. Steel steps now going to get involved. Nope. Pop-up powerbomb that didn't fully connect. Owens picks him up again and then throws him through the announce table. So Bray Wyatt just went through the announce table. A little bit of a botch, but Owens stayed with it. He didn't fully catch him. I mean, Bray's a big guy too. I mean, they both are. But he stuck with it, picked him up, and then threw him through the table. Bray breaks the count, so match continues. We only got a few minutes left, as SmackDown, of course, ends officially 9:58 Eastern Time. So about 2 minutes here before we go home. They'll probably go home now. Stunner from Owens to the Fiend as the mandible claw is locked in. And then, even after the stunner, Owens just got choke slammed. Cover 1, 2, 3 as the Fiend Bray Wyatt locks that mandible claw in, does not let it go. Choke slams Owens, covers him 1, 2, 3. The Fiend Bray Wyatt, your winner, victorious over Kevin Owens tonight during the WWE Draft on Friday Night SmackDown. Good match. I mean, the go home was sort of quick. It was good though. They finished strong, I thought. Now the lights do go out. So the lights go out. Who's going to be in the ring now? And Alexa with Bray right at the top of the entrance, staring down one another as we get the closing credits. And that'll do it for Friday Night SmackDown tonight. You can now kiss the bride. I do. Now they stare down Kevin Owens, who's, by the looks of it, throwing up in the middle of the ring after just having Mandible Claw locked in, losing to the Fiend tonight on SmackDown. with the Fiend Bray Wyatt's music playing before officially we fade to black and end SmackDown here tonight. Next Friday, as mentioned, SmackDown season premiere in quotes. They're only doing that because AEW, as mentioned, has their anniversary show next Wednesday. It'll be Reigns and Strowman for the Universal title. Roman's going to win that. We all know that because he's going to face Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell and an I Quit Hell in a Cell match for the Universal title as well, about a week and a half later on the 25th of October. But that'll do it for WWE Friday Night SmackDown tonight. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Other than Seth Rollins going to SmackDown, AJ Styles going to Monday Night Raw, the tag teams of Miz and Morrison going from SmackDown to Raw, Rey and Dominic Mysterio put together as a tag team for tonight, staying put together, going from Raw to SmackDown, and then the New Day being split up. Kofi and Xavier, new SmackDown champions in the tag team division, going to Raw, and then Big E staying put on SmackDown. Other than those moves, I thought the draft was bad tonight. Won't say awful, but I thought it could have been better. Hopefully come Monday night on Raw during the second night of the 2020 WWE Draft, it will be a little bit better, but only time will tell. Hopefully you'll tune in to watch those live reactions play-by-play, as well as I'll have live reactions play-by-play on Sunday. Eagles, Steelers at 1 p.m. Be sure to tune in. Subscribe right here on YouTube as well. Monday night with Monday Night Raw, the second night of the draft, the doubleheader in the NFL as well for Monday Night Football. Bills, Titans on Tuesday night. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. As always, links in the description below. That's it for the first night of the WWE Draft. Thanks once again for tuning in and watching. Hopefully, I'll see everybody on Sunday for NFL, Eagles, and Steelers, along with Monday Night Raw as the 2020 WWE Draft will, in fact, conclude. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hope to see everybody then. Rollins to SmackDown, Styles to Raw, Rey and Dominic Mysterio to SmackDown, Miz and Morrison to Raw, New Day split up with Xavier, along with Kofi returning from injuries, becoming your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, going to Monday Night as Raw, going to Monday Night Raw as well, along with Big E, along with the New Day being split up, Big E staying put on Friday Night SmackDown. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope to see everybody later on this weekend for more live reactions, play live right here on YouTube.